Hello my friends, welcome to Home and Garden. Today I am showing you this shade plant area that I have in the backyard, and this is actually the side of the backyard. So I am showing you all the different plants that planted into this area, and also I'm adding a new plant to add it in between the alum roots, which is all this burgundy color. This is the alum roots. So I'm adding the new plant, the Bergenia, and I have a lot of that I use it as a border in my front yard. So I am going to show you how to grow, how to propagate, and also how to plant the Bergenia. And let's do it. Here's the close-up look of all the Bergenia that I planted as a border in this shade garden. So I use them because first of all, in my area there are evergreen. So I want something that stays in this side, and I still have some plants that planted and growing even though during fall and winter. So this is also flowering plant, and you can see the tiny flowers that are about to bloom. And also the other plant that I'm adding on this side is the Bergenia, and that's also a perennial plant, and I want to cover all this open space because before I added the primroses in here, so I want to hide all this dirt, but then the primroses didn't survive, so I transplant them on the other side of my garden. So now I need to cover all of this dirt, and the Bergenia should be fine to add in this shade garden. So here is the far view of my shade garden area, and I have that red blooming right now. That plant is the rhododendron. And here, this big bush, this is the beauty bush, and they are giving an elegant look into the shade garden area. And I still, of course, have all these plants that planted, which is all behind this alum roots is all the hydrangeas. So I use them also as a border. So I plant them by height, which is of course the beauty bush is the highest or the tallest in this area. And then here in between the hydrangeas, I also added all this upright phlox and also this ferns. And then since the alum roots is the shortest among all the plants that I added in here, I have to add also that Bergenia, because Bergenia is also a big leaf, but they don't really grow really tall. So here, just a quick look for you. I have that hostas and also the geranium, the pink flower. I also add the variegated hostas here. And again, today's video, I am going to plant and adding the Bergenia to add it and plant this in between the alum roots. So all this dirt will be just covered. Okay, so come on, you walk with me. I am walking on the side of the garden towards the side gate, and I am going to the front garden to collect and get some Bergenia. So here's towards the side front yard. I still have the azalea still blooming, and I have a separate video of the azalea before they bloom and also when they are bloomed, so you can check that video as well. And here also my irises still doing good. And here I actually add the Bergenia as a border in here and added the irises in the side of this garden, and I do have the honeysuckle in here, and I am walking towards the front. Also here I add the Bergenia as a border as well, together with the primroses, all the way to this side of my garden. So before we start collecting and get some cuttings of the Bergenia, let me just give you a quick look on how I add Bergenia for each side of my front yard. So here, this is the upper level of my front garden, and I use the Bergenia, the big leaf over here. That's all the Bergenia. And pay attention on the side of my stairs. That is like the driveway, and then I have the stairs here. because I have the lower level and then the upper level of my front yard. So here's the stairs. I use the Bergenia as the border between that side of my stairs, so it looks nice, especially when they are bloom. And they have actually a pink bloom, same color as this azalea. And I have more Bergenia here, and I plant them underneath this evergreen dwarf tree, and that looks nice actually. So even here on the side of my front yard, I also alternate the Bergenia and also the hellebores, and that's how it look like now, because it's just a dirt before on this side. So the two plants that I can combine is these two because they're both evergreen. And even though, like I said, even though in winter you can still see green color on my front yard because of these two combination plant. Okay, let me just show you a quick glance of this water illusion fountain that we did, and I add this Bergenia on the sides as the border. And as you follow this video all the way down to the rocks, and you can see the pink azalea there, all the big leaf are all Bergenia. So that's how I use them as a border. So again, the Bergenia, they are evergreen plants, and also you can use them as a border. In between also your plant, you can add them like what I did here behind me. And this one, that's the tallest that they can get. So I am going to check it out, this bundle of Bergenia on this side, just to get some extra plant that I can add it to this shade plant garden on the backyard, so I can add and cover the dirt in between the alum roots. Way that I propagate them, so I just go and check in between the plant. And so here, I mean, you can use some cutters or scissors to cut them, but the way that I am doing, I just like use my hand to follow and check it up the very bottom of this plant. And as long as you have a tiny roots, and that should be fine. So here there's a two Bergenia here. It's actually three that's planted, and I can break this big one. You can see it. So that is the bottom side of this Bergenia, and I just need to twist and break this. So you just need to twist it like that. And where's the roots? There's a tiny roots over here, and this one should be fine, and they will survive. So that's the whole Bergenia, and we got one, and it looks so healthy. I'm just going to show you how to get some propagation from this mother plant. This is again the Bergenia, and I have two that's planted in this side, so I am removing this one. So I just gonna dig a little bit here, and as long as you have roots, I mean, you don't need a lot of the roots, it's okay just to get few, and then you just need to twist and pull. You don't need any scissors, very easy. And there's the roots on this one, and that's how it look like. So you can just remove all these yellow leaves, and that's what I'm going to add on the shade garden in the backyard. So here's what I collect on the front garden. So I am ready to plant them and add them on my shade garden area in between the alum roots. Okay, so here is the Bergenia. I have some roots here, that's like a hair, that's the roots. And to make sure before you plant it, you remove all these dead leaves and some dead stems. And this one is ready to be planted. So easy. So that's all the Bergenia that I am going to plant in between the alum roots, and that's how it looked like before I replant them. Do not forget to water them. So that's the after planting of the Bergenia. Of course, right now they're still not showing any bushy, or you cannot barely see them in between these alum roots because I just add them, and hopefully by next year or in a few months they will add some beauty in this shade garden area. So I hope you get all the tips on how to care and how to plant and propagate Bergenia and add it to the other shade loving plants. And also remember, this plant is also okay to plant in the full sun. And they are also okay to plant on the shade garden area. And they will add a lot of beauty in your garden. So I hope you like the video for today and you learned something. And also, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my video and hit your notification bell so you will receive all my new videos. And I'll see you on my next vlog. You take care.